Welcome back to Sunday Nation. Let's bring in Mandelbaum, who is the president of the Southfield City Council. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I enjoy watching Sunday Nation and your radio show Redline.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Great to have you as a fan. But I want to begin with Northland Mall, right? So I remember back in the day, I used to go to Northland Mall. I think people loved it. You know, the intimacy, and it was a mall that was close to Detroit, close to Southfield and so forth. But it is going through a lot of reformation right now. And the question, I think, for some people is, can you bring Northland Mall back? Or are you going a whole different direction?
The goal is to bring Northland back to its original glory. We've sold the property to Contour's company. It's a Michigan-based company, and they are transforming over 100 acres of the mall.
Okay.
They're building apartments that will be market rate, hopefully opening the end of this summer. 3,000 apartments with retail on the bottom. The original Northland Mall is going to be gutted. It's going to have loft apartments. It's going to have the Hudson City Marketplace, which is going to have restaurants and retail, bringing back that one-stop shopping for all of Northland Mall. One of the interesting things that they're doing as well is a Costco business center is actually opening on the old Vibe Credit Union site, the first of its kind in Michigan, where it's not going to have gas or the normal things you would find in a Costco, but it's going to be geared towards businesses, so more food and household items, less furniture and clothing.
Okay, so you don't have to drive all the way to Madison.
Correct.
Heights. But on this apartment, are these developers asking for tax breaks?
We have given them some tax breaks. We've given them some brownfield tax credits. So
and how much are we talking about in actual dollars?
We're talking, I want to say close to just over $20 million or so.
Okay. Okay.
And the state reimburses us for the educational tax credits that we give.
Okay.
So the schools are made whole, and
Okay.
Northland happens to be in the Oak Park School District.
Oh, really?
There's a number of other incentives that they have, but they are taking on it's over $100 million worth of work that they are putting into Northland.
So apartments, and then you'll have what, storefronts, you're saying?
So they're currently, if you drive by Northland right now
Yeah.
on Greenfield Road, you'll
Yeah.
see one shell of an apartment building. I believe it's 4 or 5 stories tall. You'll have
Okay.
retail on the bottom,
Okay.
apartments on the top. They're working
Right.
on a second building as we speak.
Right.
And the entire mall is also under complete renovation.
Okay. And I wanna also talk about there's just the city of Southfield as a whole, and you know, it's interesting. I've been reading a lot about Southfield now. It is, you know, predominantly, and not just a 51-50, but it's a majority African-American city. And I'm just wondering, though, from Southfield government itself, the diversity of Southfield, what do you think it represents right now for the city?
Southfield has always been known for its diversity.
Yeah.
According to the latest census numbers, Southfield is approximately 67% African-American, 25% Caucasian, and then a mix of everything else.
Yeah.
But it's great. You know, everyone gets along. We're known to be a welcoming city for everyone. We're a place for everyone. In 2001, Money Geek magazine ranked Southfield as the #1 city for black women to flourish in business. And they took into account the economics, the poverty rate, health insurance, education, crime, and we came in #1 in over 200 cities in the U.S. that were surveyed as the best place for black women to flourish.
So what does that mean? What does that tell? I mean,
we're open for
are
business.
you suggesting that more people need to move from Detroit to Southfield? I'm not pushing that, but go ahead.
I know, I'm not suggesting people need to move from Detroit. Detroit is also a great city, but
Yeah.
Southfield is also a great city. We have a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of great partnerships with Lawrence Tech. We have something called a Centropolis.
Okay.
Where they work with the university, and if you have an idea for manufacturing, you have a business idea, they will help work with you, make a business plan. They will help you come up with The idea is they will give you some grant funding microloans to help your business take off and flourish. We also have a great business center where we have over 100 Fortune 500 companies that have offices in Southfield.
So which leads to my question though is how has Southfield had to deal with the impact of COVID, its adverse impact on businesses? Have you had businesses in the city of Southfield that have gone down because of COVID?
We have had a few businesses that have gone down because of COVID. During COVID itself, we actually modified temporarily some of our business ordinances for restaurants, for salons, haircuts, that allowed them to do more outdoor dining and have more services outdoors in order for them to be successful, because people,
So you did not shut down the restaurants. You just went and reworked the ordinance that allows them to serve outside instead of inside.
Correct, because a lot of times some of these ordinances required special plans for patio dining, and we fast-tracked those ordinances, we fast-tracked the approvals, so those restaurants could stay in business. And even since COVID, we've had a lot of restaurants open up, both within the city center on Evergreen Road as well as on Northwestern Highway. A lot of great restaurants, some even from Southfield High School, Southfield Public School alumni.
Interesting. I didn't know that. So let me ask you another question then. With COVID, we've seen the federal government has been pumping money. Detroit, as we speak right now, Mayor Mike Duggan talks about it, sits on almost $800 million of COVID money. How much of that pot of gold from the feds is Southfield City, the city of Southfield, sitting on, and that you get to look at as the council president?
There's quite a bit of money that.
How much are we talking about?
The number keeps changing. There were several $1 million that we've received.
100 million, 200 million, 300 million? I'm just trying to get at the number.
Probably, I would say somewhere between 70 and $100 million.
Okay.
But they all come with restrictions.
Okay.
For example,
strings attached.
Everything always has strings attached.
Yeah.
For example, there was $100,000 that we used to help with homeless shelters within the city. People that needed help with rent, with utilities, with medicine. So a lot of that money was earmarked for that. We've used some of the money to give hero pay to our employees who worked during COVID, our police, our fire.
Right, frontline workers.
Correct.
Okay.
A lot of the money is also that we're eligible for.
Right.
Is at the county level.
Okay.
So we go to the county for a grant. So we just qualified a few weeks ago for a $250,000 grant from Oakland County to help fix up some of our areas in Southfield to make a more welcoming area for the seniors in Southfield.
Okay. I want to switch the pendulum quickly to go to, you shared something with me, and I want to talk about it, of course, for our viewers here, and that is Southfield was actually a stop for the Underground Railroad. Let's talk about that.
Yes, so Southfield has a very rich history, and for anyone who's not familiar, right next door to the library, there's some tennis courts. Right next to those tennis courts is a small white siding building. It's the
I've played tennis on those tennis courts in the past.
Yeah, so right next to there's the Southfield Reformed Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
That was a stop on the Underground Railroad, which goes back to our original discussion about diversity in Southfield, that we have a very long history of diversity and helping everyone.
So what has been done with that history, though? Because it's a little known history. It's a little known black history secret.
We have the Southfield Historical Society. They will give tours of that. If you go on Google, you can find a write-up on it.
Okay.
For that church, and specifically the pastor who welcomed everyone in and how he helped them escape and get a future from slavery.
Yeah. So let me move back to COVID money. I think people like to hear that. There's funds available here. But what has been done for Southfield's population, and I mean in terms of those who are struggling, those who, you talked about homelessness and so forth, those who find themselves on the margins, because I think a lot of people, a significant number of people have not been able to resurrect from COVID. Even as, you know, COVID has kind of forced us to, you know, to imagine new industry, still a lot of people have not been able to economically resurrect from COVID.
Yeah. So the city does have a lot of this COVID money. We have our human services that works with other agencies within the city, within the county.
Okay.
So if somebody says, you know, I need help paying my mortgage, if I need help with medicine, paying utilities, we will give them some money.
Okay.
We will refer them to other agencies as well to help get them on their feet. We offer career services as well.
Okay.
We applied for some grants and we got some of the COVID money as well to help with our career center. And we have a lot of great success helping Southfield residents with their careers. But also when the time needs, we have a lot of seniors who need help with even, they have a leak and they need help with plumbing, small electrical. We have some available money that can go to help them stay in their homes and live. Our city treasurer as well will do whatever he can when people have money issues with their mortgage payments, with taxes. There's a lot of programs that we will readily help people apply for.
I think the question that we had, a lot of people are dealing with, municipalities are dealing with now, is what happens when the COVID money runs out? What do you replace it with?
Right, so Southfield is being very cautious with the COVID money that we accept.
Okay.
Because even though we're given or we're allowed a certain amount of COVID money, we don't want to necessarily rely on it.
Right.
Because once it runs out, what will we do?
Yeah, because then your economic crutch is gone. But the money is important, though.
Correct. So that's why we try to utilize the money to help us with the best of our abilities, whether it's a matching grant, whether it's to give pay, you know, the hero pay, the pay raises to the frontline workers, or the workers that were working during COVID. And we're being very strategic about what money that we use, even if it's a one-time purchase to help buy something for our fire department or our police department. We're trying to be very strategic to make sure that it's not a long-term, it's a long-term solution with a short-term gain, where we don't want it to run out and then we're stuck trying to replace it later on.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. And we're going to see what becomes of the Northland project that is underway.
All right. Thank you for having me, and Southfield's a great city.
All right. We'll be right back with more on Sunday Nation. Stay with us.